So I'm watching last week's episode, or the one that just aired yesterday.
Cool.
And I'm kind of going through it, the proof, whatever, make sure there's no problems. And after it ends, one of our old ones rolls on.
Yeah.
I think it was like episode 12.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, man, we had our mics far away.
Yeah.
Like, I could even tell in that you had to raise our voices up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could tell the audio was off.
Yeah, you
we
hear
were
a lot
both
more
doing
room.
it.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't just me. I thought it would just be, but like, we had our mics like, they were like standing and like, we're like way back here. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yep. Well, you can get away with it. It just sounds like trash.
Yeah, it didn't work. Like, I could tell. It was really echoey.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
that's what happens.
We were doing that for quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's just like we lived with it.
Well, I had mine set up over here. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. Well, again, like, it's not ideal the way we have it set up. I would love to do a little bit more Rogan-y version of
Well,
the
yeah.
setup, but it's
So with
expensive.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave was grilling me a lot on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't doubt
He's
that.
like an uncaged bear or something, just tearing into me all evening. And then someone would change the topic, and he was back on it again.
Yep.
Like, he just would not be distracted, and he
It's a
just
dog
kept
with a bone now.
like I would kind of look away, and then I could. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see he was looking at me, waiting for his moment to strike.
What's he expecting you to do?
Well, right now, my current work is I have to get a computer.
Oh, yeah.
I have to get a PC.
Yeah. You're one of those rare people that does not. Well,
I
you don't need a
used to have
PC, get a Mac.
Well, he wants me to get a Mac. My coworker says that's crazy. I should get.
Why?
Well, that's what I'm building to. Part of what
Okay.
Dave and I were talking about was the potential of like streaming too.
Yeah.
And if you stream, a PC is better for that.
In what way?
If you're playing video games, streaming.
Oh, well, video games in general, yeah. Oh, that's what you want to do? You want to stream video
I
games?
want it to be a possibility that I could do that.
Oh.
I was
So
talking
you're
about.
definitely gonna want PC.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
was talking about doing.
It's like the only situation where I'll be like, yeah, PC.
Well,
Do you have
I still
gaming?
want to be able to do some editing, and you can still do that.
Ish.
But
You just have to set it up to do
There's
that.
incredible software once you learn how to use it, right?
Yeah, like my only thing with anything between PC and Mac is like stability in PC for multimedia purposes just lacks. It's always not going to be as stable as a Mac platform, unfortunately. That just the way that they're set up and how they run, it just for things like media. That's one of the reasons that they use them in all video editing, all audio editing, or at least a majority of them.
well,
They're just stable.
Dave was wanting me to get a Mac.
Yeah.
My coworker
For the
who
same reason I would
streams wants me to get a PC.
Yeah.
I just want something that can do both because right now it's a leap for me to get either.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. If I do this, it's got to be set up in a way that an idiot could approach it. And
That would be the Mac version.
And still get.
Macs are set up for the, hey, dummy, look at this.
Yeah, kind of like just kind of go and sit. And Sarah's like, should we set it up in this way and over here? And I'm like, no, it's got to be somewhere comfortable or I'm never going to use it.
Yeah.
Like if it's not going to be comfortable, I'm not going to want to engage with it. Is what I told her. So we're going to have it in the living room. And I'm like, my living room's not that big and it's going to be this giant space hug. And I'm just like, oh. But there's no way I could face Dave again with that PC or Mac. There's no reality where I can. I've got 2 weeks, so we're already looking at parts to build it because Sarah's brother says if we build a PC from scratch, it's much cheaper. And if you build one that's built, or if you buy one that's built for you, you end up paying out the ass and all this stuff. And he's gonna build it for us if we get a PC. And
Man, you know, the amount of people that I've seen do this thing, exactly what you're describing, and then have it go poorly, and then try and do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, and they end up spending 10 times as much money as they would have if they had just done one. Like, you know, just
When he
bought
says
one.
done one, he means buy an Alienware laptop for $3,000.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Which is probably what you should do in
That's
this
like
case.
that's really, because like you'll end up spending $6,000 rebuilding things over and over and over again when you accidentally, oh shit, I plugged this thing in wrong. And it
I'm
burned
not
it out
going
and-
anywhere near it. Her brothers are both They're like super nerds.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I have lots of friends where this is just a success story every
Yeah,
time.
they
I've
do.
never had a person with a success story. Even my super nerd friends.
So let me.
They're always like, yeah, I'm building another one now because this one's always like, it's like
So the best way I can describe Sarah's entire family and sort of her too is high intellectual, low emotional intelligence. Like they're not super good at talking to people. They're almost on an autistic frequency. Like her whole family is like
This is
that.
a wild description.
Well, they're great people.
Why?
No, it's
Why is
just
that
a
wild?
description. It's just a description, right?
Yeah.
They're incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And they're all well learned. Like they've all been to school for X amount of years. Or her brother's a librarian. The other one has been engineering like games and
Yeah.
software and shit forever. He's also a BMXer, plays drums, plays bass, plays guitar. Like he does all kinds of shit, all technical stuff. But they don't have many social links, right? The only way I can describe that is they're on the spectrum.
yeah. That's where, like, if we started redefining that in terms of like how we view it, and just said like, oh, they're on the spectrum of insane wealth and success.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
That's the
It's
type of
not-
industry where it's just like, oh,
Well,
okay, sky's the limit for money, I guess.
They're electricians. They own Corona Electric here in town.
So they're doing just fine.
They're doing very well.
Yes.
Her parents own several properties.
Yeah.
Her brother makes like something like $50 an hour or something like. Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah, that's usually what goes along with it.
I'm not worried about their ability to do this for me. I'm a big dummy, and I need help in this regard. And Dave we're going to learn together. I'm going to be there all the time helping you set this up. I'm like, oh, God.
That sounds right.
What am I entering into? Anyway, as we know, because he's now been on the podcast by the time this one will air.
Yep.
He's a fairly intense individual.
Yeah. The intensity level's up there.
And
For sure.
generally, I feel like I am. But when he's around, he checks me. He's more intense than I am.
Yeah, agreed. I worked with Dave for a very long time. I know him very well.
I can be that way in the kitchen.
Really?
I don't think I'd be that way in a more relaxed setting. The only reason I ever get that way is if I need to. So, like, I can be that guy, but it makes me tired after a while. Like, I can be the guy who's, like, in control and the leader and, you know, barking out orders and getting shit done. But I don't want to be that guy when I'm relaxed.
No.
Like, there's no
would
need
hope
for that guy when you're relaxed. That guy in the leader, that, you know, that kind of leader is not necessary in peace times.
It's
I don't think.
inconvenient when you catch yourself in one of those situations where you're like, oh, this doesn't fit here. What the heck am I up to?
Wow, I'm way too jacked up on life right now.
I'm gonna go sit down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And just slow it down.
gotta
And then
chill
you
out.
realize 5 minutes passed and you're still amped up.
That's
Like,
right.
good Lord. I need to go, like, for a long walk or something.
Probably.
That's when I go like light the campfire or something. Like I'm gonna just go like do something enjoyable for 5 minutes.
That's something I want to experiment with because I heard this thing from that Huberman Lab thing podcast, whatever, where he was talking about when you're stressed, you need to go outside and look at long distances.
Yeah.
Let your eyes go and look at something way off in the distance, and apparently that helps relax that part of your brain.
Actually, just biking here today, I had a moment like that where I was kind of focusing again in the moment because the bicycle's kind of fun in the morning to like get your headspace right. But I tried like looking up instead, just kind of at the tops of the trees, the tops of the buildings as I'm biking downtown. And it's like a whole different experience. It was a great time.
Have you ever done the like passive meditation or whatever they call that, where you're like you relax your eyes into the middle distance? That's another one that I found like really kind of soothing. They say to do it like when you're at stoplights or something like that, so you just kind of relax and look into the nothing
particularly
space.
while driving, eh?
Yeah. There's something in terms of maintaining road rage. Like when you're at a stop, you don't like you let yourself kind of because you can still take all in the peripheral. You're still using all your peripheral, right? So you'll see the light change and you'll see the cars move and things like that. But you're stopped, so you let yourself have your vision relax.
I assumed
Entirely.
you meant as a form of meditation while not driving a vehicle.
No. I mean,
On public
definitely
streets.
while driving a vehicle.
Okay, good times. No, I'm not a
You
practitioner.
ever had
of
that thing where you're like relaxing while you're driving, so you just like close your eyes?
Yeah.
Don't do that,
Not yet, anyway. Once we get self-driving cars.
man. I
That's right.
can't wait. Have you seen this thing with the future city that they're planning?
No, I actually haven't.
Do I want to, Kevin?
Yes, you do.
I probably don't.
It seems very cool. So
Okay.
they're talking about basically like an Abu Dhabi in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude who used to be the CEO of Walmart, he's got a $5 billion.
Bunker.
No, what he's worth?
Bunker.
Net worth? Yeah, probably. No, what he wants to build. He's got this proposed idea of like a utopian city out in the desert that is entirely future driven. So there's no gas cars. They're all electric. They're all autonomous. Everybody can get to
Is there a dome?
Probably, but it's designed by
'Cause
this fancy future city designer guy.
The issue is you can't keep the building cool without letting the wind blow through, but you can't trap and reuse your own water and moisture if you're letting it go in the wind.
What are you saying?
Because building cities in the desert
Yeah, you're losing
Fuck
my
are we
too.
talking about?
is a huge issue for water. Why are we building cities in the desert? I've never understood this.
Well, because he has some sort of plan for as long as they have figured out the water thing.
Yeah.
Because he has some sort I didn't really read into it. It just seemed like a cool idea, but it was like as long as they can figure out the renewable, reusable water was their
Right.
plan.
I've just got a chip on my shoulder about cities in the desert.
Fair.
Why? You hate deserts, bro.
No,
Guys,
cities in the desert hate
Wait
running
a
water,
minute.
bro.
We might not want to know.
Yeah, fair.
It might have something.
Did
to
you
do
work
with
in a
that.
desert?
It might
I
have
did not work in
something
a
to do with
desert.
that vest.
I don't think.
As it turns out, I'm wearing a vest from a desert right now.
Actually, this is the closest thing I've come to working in a desert. Is
It
Lethbridge,
is.
Our
Lethbridge
semi-arid
area.
desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our semi-arid Alberta is my closest
Yeah.
desert.
I actually
experience.
hate this city's climate with a passion. It's terrible.
Yeah, I used to think it was
much better
good
than
until I
Fort
went other
McMurray.
places. Yeah. See,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
By like 100
going
times
north,
better than Fort McMurray.
going anywhere north of where we are is way worse.
is way worse. Yeah,
Anywhere north.
we have some of the best weather in this whole.
And our weather is
Province.
trash.
Yeah.
Still
it's
pretty
it's
shitty.
wild that we accept this as the best option,
This
and it is
morning
trash.
is 7 degrees.
Yeah.
It will be 33 degrees.
Which I like.
Around 12.
That's a good spread.
Is that a good spread?
It's actually not bad.
It's not bad. 26 ain't bad.
26 is fine. You get some warm afternoon. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather it be 20 degrees at night because sitting on the campfire in -2 because it's frickin' Alberta is not ideal. But still, as long as it's hot in the daytime, I can handle the rest of this desert BS.
Okay, well, fair.
Yeah, but that's just a personal.
That's a personal want.
I'd rather live.
Tell
in the
me
jungle.
more about
Yeah.
your
I'd rather
problems
live in
with
the
desert
jungle.
cities.
Yeah, what's the problem, man?
Oh man,
You don't like Vegas?
you should research.
Now we've opened up a fascinating
You should
channel here.
research the bodies of water that go to desert cities and then don't go on. And when that stream dries up, so will the city.
I don't want to do that. Can you just
Yeah,
summarize it
I
for
don't
me?
think Kevin's gonna do
I think
that.
I already have.
I just love the idea of it. It seemed cool.
like there are in that part of the world.
Yeah.
There are so many rivers that like start, 5 times bigger than the old man, and then 3 states later, it's
They're
like
destroyed.
this little brook. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. I mean, the way that we use water is insane.
And the farmers
But,
that
so-
used to just have pasture there are now trying to irrigate out of that because
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
longer enough water in
Yeah.
the water table. Like it's
and they got to pay
wild.
for water now.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about it, though, is I just love the idea of building a city from scratch that embraces all of the upcoming things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everything that we have to implement over the next while is working within infrastructure that already exists.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you always have that kind of you have to facilitate both ends of the spectrum at
Yeah.
that point, right? So like they're testing out this magnetic road surface that recharges cars while you drive. So it runs an electromagnet through the concrete, and does the same thing that we do with like passively charging our phones, where we
That's
set them
insane.
on those magnetic chargers. But it
Can you
does it for
imagine
your car.
if roads could do that for people?
Recharge people,
Like, all of a
food?
sudden we don't
just
need-
all of a sudden
yeah.
there's sandwiches coming up.
And then it's, well, I'm full, but I don't feel satisfied.
Yeah,
I
mean,
still want flavor.
that's like life now.
yeah.
so
It is life now.
But I love the idea of like, okay, we're starting out from scratch. We're going to probably do a fusion reactor there, so that way power's free. You're going to figure out all the cool things that are new, and it's going to be all future time.
I
love future time.
I have a giant pro and a giant con.
Go for it.
So my giant pro is that if the Western world wants to get ahead, it's got to find some way to get efficient.
Sure.
And that is supposing that is a sustainable, like, economical way to move into the future, then maybe that's a great thing to be like starting on. A great journey to be embarking on is like updating to this wild future. Big con though is that if someone hacked it, your whole city is like shut the fuck down.
I mean, that happens now though. You can hack the power grid. Like, you know, there's all those things where it's just like that.
Yeah.
There's terrifying
We're
things.
already into that.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like we're relying on this stuff way too much.
But
Well, the
does that
economy.
mean that taking
everything.
Yeah.
But
Our
future city-
identity.
the future city is several steps further, though, right?
Well-
that's the thing is, you can say that there's a spectrum, and we're not all the way there yet of
Yeah.
fully integrated. Right?
I can see
We don't
where
have-
you're coming
We
from.
don't have neural nets and electric cars.
Like
that are-
I can agree that if this
Gonna pick
went
us up
down,
when
we
we
could
wink at
still
them.
eat. We could still like sleep, and we could still work in
Yeah.
some fields anyway. Right? We could still keep the world going without any of this technology. But everything that's keeping us entertained and keeping us moving and interested in doing those jobs and
Yep.
eating that food and living in those spaces, if that all goes offline, we are going to see some catastrophic events.
Yeah.
You don't think we're going to just wake up and kumbaya, do you?
No. No.
You
but
know
I mean,
what?
like,
We didn't need this shit all along. Let's all join hands and
no,
sing.
but we're a highly adaptable animal.
and it's that you also lose the food and the gasoline.
We
Yeah,
are
I guess there's
adaptable.
that
That's the
part.
thing. It's like sure, you can lose all
Everything
the
else has a
entertainment.
problem.
We're
too.
At the same
adaptable,
time,
but
you-
over time,
Mm-hmm.
we don't like. I don't even want to change anything suddenly tomorrow necessarily. Not
But
unless
you're-
I chose to.
You're older though.
Fair.
In the realm of people that accept
Of
rapid
course I'm
change.
older.
Like young people accept rapid change really well. Like when we were younger, it was always like the new, the better, I'll learn
I don't
this
like
thing.
to think that way. I don't like to think that I'm on my way out, but I know I am.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're old tech, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we need constant software updates
Yeah.
now.
And we have to actually want them. Because the thing is now we have the ability to kind of like not.
I can choose not
I'm
to
not
change,
walking
and it's
around
okay.
actively thinking I'm a relic.
Yeah.
But I'll have these moments where I realize, like when I'm interfacing with TikTok, for example, I'll be like going to do something on TikTok, and it'll seem stupid to me, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm an old man now.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
This looks stupid to me because I'm stupid.
Dude, I haven't gotten this stuff for 10 years. I don't get it.
I'm trying real hard to stay on the.
I know, and I
cusp
appreciate
of
it. Because by proximity, I'm going to pick up a few things from you, and that's
But
about
almost everything that
I'm not
I'm
even
doing
Yeah.
in that
I've
sphere,
given up
it. I'd
entirely.
rather pay for someone to do it.
almost everything I'm doing in that sphere feels terrible. Like it feels like, oh God, this is stupid. Why do people like this?
And that feeling is only going to get worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna get less and less related to the audience,
Well,
Yeah.
but still understand them on a more and more logical level.
I was
Yeah.
speaking to an individual named Silver Fox. He's
Bet
a
you were.
influencer on Instagram. He's a German influencer. He's like a 450,000 guy. He's like an old dude with tattoos, and he's in great shape. And I was like, how the fuck do you do this? Like, I feel awkward doing it now. Like influencing pictures and
Yeah.
and all this, the whole thing. Like it's
keeping
a whole,
up on it and commenting.
The whole thing. It's a whole production, right? And he's just like, you just got to suspend disbelief. Like, don't just act like you're not. You know, it doesn't matter if you understand it. It's like an actor playing a part for
Right.
a comic book movie, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you might not have read the comics, but this is the character.
Yeah.
You just do this because it's part of the job, right? So don't put your personal opinions towards it.
So that always leads me to the question: why do the job?
Because he's making money on it.
Is
Yeah,
he?
I was going to say,
Okay.
like,
He's making money on it.
money can actually make it.
Well, then, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People think I'm making money. This is something I was telling Dave on Sundays. People already think I'm making money, right? I should probably be making more money at this.
You really should,
We
yeah.
still make a little bit of money. Like, we make money off shirt sales and stuff. But and the YouTube generates a little bit of revenue, but it's not cash.
No.
Like, it's supplementary income now and then.
Yeah.
But like this guy I'm talking about is making it to enough where he can just do this now. And I see him as like a 50-something, early 50-something guy, and I'm like, I already feel like this is all stupid nonsense. Like, how the hell are you keeping up with this?
I mean, you just choose to, I guess.
Yeah.
But like,
And maybe he's like some single dude who just needs a lot of girls.
I
to
have
message
no
him.
idea. He's very separate. Like, he's not like me. I
So-
show off some of my personal life. This guy's
Right.
just an image.
Right.
but here's the thing: if it was just the only thing that you did, right? You were just making enough money to live off of you as EphemeralRemy. I feel like your interaction with it would be different because that's like then you building a business, right? Because the business is represented in money, like fiscal, and you can see returns and you can do all those things that actually make it so it actually has a real world effect on your life.
I
in
don't
which
ever
case, then you're more invested.
want it to be that for me.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
no, because Dave asked me what I was. He asked me the other day. He's like, "What is your goal with this thing? Is it just fun, or like, what do you want from this?" And I'm like, "I don't ever want to not work, in some capacity. Like, I don't want to be shelved. I don't want to feel like a worthless tit, like a social sponge. Oh, I'm existing off of my pictures and videos and stuff. Like, I want to do something
right.
useful. I won't feel like I'm a useful human being if
Now,
I don't
that
work."
said, supposing you were hitting it just right online, and that was a more than ample income, like that was just completely enough for you, you could easily find some like philanthropy stuff to get
I would
involved
love
in,
to
you know?
just
find a
be
cause-
able to do piercing a couple days a week.
Find something you like doing, something you care about, and go do a couple things. Experiment. Get good.
Yeah.
Get good at some new stuff. Right.
Well,
'Cause
see,
you can
like-
go in and work free or work for nothing, and get a whole new skill.
Well, but okay, so that kind of leads me back to what I was saying previously, though. So it's like then all of a sudden the social media thing would still be a business, but it's to increase your other business. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of your sphere and really my sphere eventually. But like then all of a sudden it's like this is to still facilitate your business, in which case you can have a little bit more of an investment in it because your returns could be measured. I think that the trouble is that when you feel the disconnect between my social media is just its own thing and me making money at my job is another thing, it makes it so that there's this duality between them. And then the stupidity in the one is like, well, it's not worth it because it's not affecting this. But when you realize that this has a direct correlation to how much money you're making within your normal business, then all of a sudden you can place more value on it because, again, you can see the value.
Yeah, I mean, if it was correlating, it would be
Yeah,
better.
exactly.
Just right now, I'm in a very nihilistic place with the whole thing.
I mean, I
good.
did a post this morning. It just felt like chores. I was like, oh, one more.
Oh
thing to
no,
take
yeah,
5 minutes
no,
out of my
I
morning."
completely understand.
Yeah.
Like I am definitely not in the plot right now.
Man, okay, so coming from the shop world, and I have to look after a bunch of people, the thing that I used to have to struggle with when we were building the shop and it was like less steady, there was a direct correlation to how much engagement was happening online, how much sponsored ads we were doing in terms of how the books were looking. And for me, it was very much like if my job is a success or not a success based on how the books are looking, it was like, okay, so our social media needs to be on point
Super important for that.
if you want
Yeah.
all of your people to be having jobs.
Yeah.
So it was one of those like, if you can directly see it, it makes you kind of see the importance of it, I guess, in a slightly different way. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I have definitely not taken my foot off the gas. I just don't have any heart in it at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have no heart in it. Not on the Instagram. I'm so tired of all of it. I have so much more fun on TikTok just because it's just like a fart in the wind. Like if a post doesn't work on TikTok, it doesn't matter. It's like,
So-
who cares? So what? I just did this in 13 seconds.
If you were a betting man, put your bets on what goes where in terms of its success. Does TikTok hang in there and expand? 'Cause-
No, I don't think TikTok is
I want to see less money go to the CCP.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think TikTok is the thing. I think what TikTok is a release valve from Instagram frustration, other social media frustration.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think TikTok is the thing. I just think that they
But-
fucked up so much that people are like, well, I guess I'll go here where someone might actually see what I have to say every now and then.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever hearing me on Instagram.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck on Instagram.
The thing that I find weird though
That's
is like
true.
on all the other platforms, one of the biggest things about them now that I see is that the cross-platform sharing is like most of the reels and stuff are you see the little TikTok logo.
Yeah, of course you do.
So it's one of those like
And Instagram is de-incentivizing that now because they don't want it on their platform.
oh
They're not going to show watermarked videos in their Explore feed anymore.
smart.
Same as another one that I'm on called Clapper. It's seriously, it's another small TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's building kind of fast.
So what are we doing, boys? Are we starting a social media platform or what?
I've always got a toe in
Absolutely
the
not.
water all over the place because this is what happened with my TikTok. TikTok was very, very young when I got on there, and I got in hard and fast, and boom, I was huge overnight.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be there early to get that.
To get the naturalness of the algorithm, like just
Yep.
to the people's interest, you have to be on it early.
Yep.
If you come into it late, you're dealing with the gatekeeper situation.
Saturation from the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden, you've got giants you're working against.
Yeah. The people that have been there since day one kind
So
of.
now you've got two Scots competing, and the only difference separating them is one of them has a platform, one of them doesn't.
Yep.
And guess who looks better?
Yep.
They're doing the same tattoo, though.
Man, I see.
What if
matter.
we had a tattoo artist specific?
They do. It's called Tattoo Dough.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's made by Ami James.
Yeah,
But no, I mean a specific one with a specific purpose. This one would be regionally based, so you'd be able to select an area.
You're really narrowing
see
your
who-
Oh
audience.
my God! Why would you ever do a regional social media platform?
Well, no, it works everywhere. You see things from everywhere, but you can select an
Your
area.
region.
So yeah, if you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to check out Southern Alberta, what's happening here, and actually see these artists.
You're overestimating the audience again. Here's what happens when people open up social media.
Yeah, if it's
That's a
not if it's
bummer.
not put right in front of them, and that's one of the reasons that targeted ads make so much sense.
Well,
right?
you'd still
Because-
open it up, and it would just be a scrolling bullshit endorphin lottery like every other platform.
Yeah.
But if you could also just like search for things and actually find artists, it would be very intentional, you know. But I should look at Tattoo
Tattoo Dough.
Tattoo
Tattoo
dough.
dough.
Yeah, I know all about tattoo dough. They're
Is that a weird kind of martial art?
no,
No,
they've been around a while.
they have. Yeah, they've been trying. It's just again limiting your audience.
Yeah.
makes it really nichey. Like you
Yeah.
kind of have to know about it to be.
I believe we
Right.
talked about this on a very early Remy show, but there was a guy named Sampa von Cyborg. He's a body mod practitioner, like deep, heavy mods. And he was getting very, very annoyed at Instagram because Instagram, things trend by shock and awe, right? So a lot of times what would happen is these people would do these improper tongue splits or ear pointings where he knew they were going to go bad. Like he knew that a tongue got cut too deep into like some of the muscular structure that it shouldn't be.
Gross.
And they would trend, right? Because they're shocking images, but they're going too deep. And he's like, this is horrific because it's going to inspire more people to do this stuff. And he's like, I've been doing this for 20 years, and you should only do this, and you should only do this. And he had all these opinions. He's like, I put up a proper tongue split. It doesn't get the same traction. He's like, what we need is a body mod social media, like just for body mods, like Instagram, but for body mods. And then he went to make his own, and, well, who knows about it?
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, I get what he's saying, that, like, his stuff is done better, and he thinks that the better work should trend.
Yeah, of course.
But that's not how social media works. As
No.
we talked about a few weeks ago, things that people like don't trend.
Not usually, no.
The things that trend are disgusting and bother people and upset people. That's what spreads. The stuff that has more to say about it, right? So what? It's a perfectly healed and perfectly split tongue. Sure, that may sound shocking to you boys, but if you've seen 15 of those in a row, it's like, okay, just another one of these. Then someone takes it a little farther, and it's like, oh, well, this one's even more cool than the last one. Well, I'm going to share this.
Extreme.
But you shouldn't go that extreme with some things, right? So it incentivizes reckless behavior because it trends.
Well, I mean, you see that with like the tattoos that kind of come in here as walk-ins, like the stupid tiny side of finger tattoos that nobody understands heal like absolute shit.
But it's going to make a cool picture.
Yeah,
Yep.
I guess.
Yep. Here's what it looked like that one time.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know. There's this thing
People
about
are
that
weird.
image, and then like what the image is like for the rest of their life is they don't care.
I seen this video
don't
of
know.
this guy.
Sure.
Muchacho Navaja or something. I don't know. I think that's his handle. He's a black work artist, and the video is just him in a mirror, and he's tattooing his own armpit.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah.
Of course you have. And I'm like, that's not that shocking. It's not that bad. He's doing it at a controlled pace.
Well, just the idea of tattooing yourself is really extreme to
It
people.
is, but
Yeah.
like that looks worse to people who don't have armpit tattoos.
Yeah, right.
Like that looks, and like that video, if he was doing it on his arm, it's not going to feel much worse in the armpit, but it's going to spread much more because it's in an armpit.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I'm saying is the sensation that he's getting isn't much different. And I can tell you that from experience. But it's going to trend like crazy because everybody's like, oh my God, armpit tattoo. Oh, he must be made of steel. Right? The shit that you hear when you put up something where you're getting your armpit tattooed is hilarious.
Oh, I wouldn't.
You
doubt
don't
it.
even feel pain. Like, how can you sit through that? Are you enjoying it? Like, yeah, that thing was all over the place for weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not, whatever. He
Well,
knew
you'll
it
have
was
that-
going to work.
You'll have that other one up there for the lining that we did
Yeah.
the other day. Like that'll be another trendy thing.
And again, that was an easy day.
It's just wild.
It's,
to me.
that wasn't,
It's because I haven't had them done.
yeah, it's not that bad. When we go to fill them in, that'll be a little worse, but it won't be. It won't even be as bad as the silver highlights we did the last time in the eye.
Yeah.
That was a worse session
I can imagine.
because of all those little mags.
Yeah.
Little mags bite.
They're
Yeah, they really
harsh,
do.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so hard.
little mags are bruisey and bitey.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
So-
the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
because they're all corners. The
Yeah.
whole thing is a corner.
Yeah.
yeah, that was way worse session than the armpit lining.
That's another thing that people don't understand is like the more needles, the kind of better it feels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Except for liners.
Yeah,
different.
until you get to that 14 liner,
Ugh,
like, oh,
it's
this
a terrible
is
time.
breaking me open.
I'm
Yeah.
getting to the point now where I can feel like I recognize every different needle grouping,
Yeah, by the feel.
and almost in every different place too. Like they all do different things to different parts of the skin.
Yeah.
And it's funny to have that level of familiarity with it. but,
yeah.
yeah, no, that armpit video didn't impress me much. It didn't.
Which is hilarious.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but I understand that it trended. So anyway, I'm on this other platform, Clapper, now. I don't know if it's going to do anything or not.
There's only one way to respond to that video. You should do a video of tattooing your own armpit.
If I knew how to tattoo,
Just
would just be scarring the hell out of
we
myself.
can set you up.
We can set you up.
We'll do
And then
That's
Scott
really
and
great.
Kevin are in the corner giggling. This guy's going to make a fucking mess of
we
himself.
should do a performance video. We'll attach
Well,
it to
no.
the end of like a
He and I are
cello
also
bowl.
tattooing you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cello
triple
bow,
blackout.
and then you can do some performance tattooing.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
And we'll get Dynamic to sponsor us to advertise their triple black
good
brand
luck
of
with
ink.
that. They're really not in it. They're
Yeah,
they're like
it's
checked
weird,
out
man.
as fuck.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
He posts like once every 3
yeah,
months.
and it's always like the same thing. Check out our black.
Yeah, I know.
We're really into selling
I
products.
like-
Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I guess they have their audience, so they just don't give a shit.
Really? Yeah.
It's like
It's
there's,
a successful ink company. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Guess what? Everybody uses this.
yeah, it's
like,
industry
oh, shit.
standard.
Damn it.
Then they show up every few months just to remind everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, we're industry standard.
Yeah.
Keep buying our product.
Yeah.
Keep buying
Bye.
Dynamic. Everyone loves
Just so
it,
no one
including you.
forgets you exist, I guess.
Yeah. Really. It's
I
just
want to
one
be
of
to
those like.
that point of success where I don't even
You don't even have
think
to
about it.
Well, I mean,
See-
you could be Tesla. They've never advertised.
A business person would tell you that's crazy because you're not using that to spur any more momentum, any more venture, right?
Yeah.
Once you've gotten that specialized, where you have 4.5 products that are all very similar, and you just keep selling those forever, you've created a stale, slow growth business,
Yeah.
right? So what you really need to be doing is expanding that product line. You need to be taking apart other brands of color and discovering how to make the best dynamic color. You need to be branching out into how to get the best bed sheets and selling bed sheets and office tattoo station supplies as well.
Well, I don't know how they've done it, Dynamic Black, because like it's black. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I had all of my work done in it. I'm not saying anything bad about them. But like Panthera is hustling all the time.
Yeah.
They're sponsoring tattoo artists.
I think Panthera is a better black.
Well, it's just it doesn't. I'm not even talking about the color difference. It's just why isn't that the industry standard then?
Because
They're
Dynamic's
fucking
been around
hustling.
longer.
They're hustling every day.
Dynamic got there first.
Yeah, that's
I guess.
exactly
Like, how much more ultimate can you make a tattoo ink?
Well,
Right?
the funny thing is like the differences in ingredients between the Dynamic and the Panthera is actually nothing.
Yeah, it's
The only thing that they do is they do some sort of treatment to the black pigment to help it be resistant to UV rays. That's it. But
I
in
think
terms of the
that's-
ingredient list, they're identical.
But that's a tide that may turn because, like,
Of course.
Hood is always whenever he's he like tags them at everything.
Yeah. Well,
And
have
not
you
just
seen
in
his? Have you seen his thing where he does Panthera over Dynamic? I was like, man, that's a big like fuck you to Dynamic, in my opinion. He was
I
like,
haven't
this is a full
seen it.
Dynamic sleeve, and then I just went over it with.
But I've seen
Panthera.
him put side by sides, but I haven't seen that one. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen two blacks, two arms, and they look just different because of the skin tone. But I
Yeah.
haven't seen. You'll have to show me the other one.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. It was like a pre, and this is all Dynamic.
But
and
that
then
being
post
said,
was-
I also think that if he did the Dynamic, it would have been blacker too.
I think he did it, but early in his career.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's repping for them hard because they do rep him back.
They do.
That's
They're
one of the reasons I tag them all the time too. They've reposted me.
they're great with social media for sure. But I think that it is probably a better black. I'm not saying
I don't even know if it is.
but what I'm saying is that doesn't matter
Yeah.
because if you have people saying it is all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes it.
Yeah, so we'll flip it. All of a sudden, it's Panthera that's been around forever.
Yeah.
And now I'm talking, oh man, Hood's always pushing Dynamic.
Yeah.
Like he's pushing Dynamic all the time. How is this not, you know what I mean? Like it's about the word of mouth and the social media presence of it. And the guys that are chiefly using black are always using the same ink. So you think eventually that tide's going to turn where
Yeah.
it becomes Panthera as the industry standard.
If they make a bigger bottle, I think they'd be fine.
That's all it's going to take?
I think that would be a big part of it.
You think they fucking would. It's for black work.
I know.
Like, for fuck's
It's actually
sake.
insane that they do a 5-ounce bottle.
How do you do a
compared to an
5-ounce bottle? You better give me a 2-liter jug, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
5 ounce more like 4 ounces, isn't
It's
it?
5-ounce.
It
It's a
should
weird
be like
shaped bottle.
buying a
It's
jug
all
of
weird.
Pepsi.
Like,
Here's your fucking Panthera. Go nuts.
not to mention they do because I've got the Ralph stuff, right? Like the really really thin stuff, and he has another one called Gloom, and it's like super dark, super saturated, and it is 1 ounce.
What's funny to me is how
Only
many
1 ounce.
Like when you Google best black inks,
Yep.
and there's just so many that people swear by.
Yeah.
You gotta go that Zupa Black. Zupa
Yeah.
Black. There's nothing blacker than
It's
Zupa
like
Black.
jelly.
World famous is the only good black. Tell you that.
Yeah, I've seen so much of that stuff where it's
Yeah.
just like they're all almost the same.
It's all the same.
Well, they're
shit
all
now.
the same ingredient.
yeah, like what
Like
the fuck are you talking about?
You have that carbon pigment.
CL number 2940.
it's-
What's going to matter
whatever it
more
is.
than anything is your skin tone and the artist's application.
Yeah.
No, there's some other stuff in
And
terms
they're
of
better
the,
now. Like, don't be grabbing ink from 20 years ago.
Well,
and think
you'll
it's the
go
same
green.
shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Right?
This is
Yeah.
the green man that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people are always like, it's going to be nice to see you in 20 years when
Yeah.
you're green. I'm like,
You're like,
So-
actually, they hold pretty well nowadays. Like,
yeah, I haven't
it's
seen a
fine.
green man.
I would think
Yeah.
the viscosity, so like how slippery the ink is, and how little trauma it can possibly make, because like the ink is going to add to it in terms of how easily it gets absorbed into the hole that's left, right? Because the needle jabs in, pulls out, creates suction, the ink gets sucked into the hole that was made. So how easily that can happen is going to affect how well the ink goes in, and how little trauma can happen per hole.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin. I've already thought this through because you keep saying, get some Panthera in there. Try out the Panthera.
Yeah.
I think what I need to do when we get to my sleeves is we should do the black on black with Panthera.
Yeah, give it a
'Cause
try.
I don't want to do it on my torso now because then we'd have to redo all of it
Yeah.
if we wanted it to be the same. But I think
Yeah, that would be insane.
It's probably
Don't
worth
do that.
trying. Yeah, I don't want to do that. When you mentioned it, then I'm like, I'm not starting over.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm okay with working on this for a long time, but I'm not going back to point 0. Let's rebuild all of it again with a different black. No, I'm not relining my ribs and stomach and double lining and dotting and all of it again. But I would do that on my sleeves if Rick's cool with it. Just see how it goes.
Yeah, really.
Because what's the harm in trying? We tried that purple silver, and it's a weird result. But I kind of like it. Like it's
Kind of a pinky white.
well, but I kind of like the weirdness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh wow, it's like throwing shit at a wall
Yeah,
and
it really
seeing what
is.
sticks, and
really
you're never
is, man.
really going to be sure what you get anymore.
Nope. But like, it's a cool adventure, you know?
For some of your white on black on your sleeves, it'd be cool if you did your white on black design, and then afterwards, in the darker spots or further spots or whatever's appropriate, you went with like a 3-liner in the Panthera, and just right next to that white line, just ran a bit of black.
Interesting.
On, like,
Yeah,
some
I've
outside
thought about
contours and
popping
stuff.
black off white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just run a 3-liner in there, and then you get like a 9 mag, and you just shade some black, like not a long, not like blacking out anything else again, but you just whip out the littlest bit, so there's an extra black edge up against the side of your white subject.
I've thought
Yeah,
about
just to
that.
push it forward a little bit further.
Like in the background elements of this, I haven't really mentioned it to Rick yet because we've still got so much shit going on. But I think the best idea is going to be to lighten the background somehow so that the tentacles are
Gross.
out.
I mean, you could do that, I guess. You got some dark grays and things like that.
Well,
that'll
I don't-
probably do
I don't
that.
recommend dark grays. I think you need a nice application of medium to light gray. Just a real smooth application.
Oh,
quite
sorry.
saturated
That's
to
what
the
I
edge.
think. That's what I'm meaning because like
yeah.
it is black underneath, so no matter what you put on top
That's
of it,
right.
it's gonna
but
be.
you're right in not saying white because
Yeah.
white's going to be too stark, and
Yeah.
if you get any patches of chalky, you're hooped. So if
Yeah.
and if you're trying to just whip it, you're still not going to get into even saturation.
Yeah.
With the grays though, no problem.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think-
think it has to be a dynamic difference. It just has to be a
Something.
slight difference.
Which is why I'd say like a medium gray.
Because like even with that silver purple, like it's not striking.
No.
But it doesn't need to be.
No, it's just there
enough to highlight that black in the center.
You do
Yeah.
keep talking about how you want to be a green man. We could just
Oh,
use
it's
atomic
just-
green over top of the whole background.
Perfect.
You know, I've
Yeah.
never had green. I don't think. No, I had a little bit of green. Just a tiny bit of green.
Okay, well, when it's time to start your green out project, you got to
And
come
fuck
to me.
was that
okay?
hard to get rid of. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
kept popping back.
Yeah, green's a terrible one. Even for laser, green and light purple, they're
like-
terrible.
The fuck? And we had a hard time getting it in to begin with, and then once it was in, it was like they didn't want to go.
Yeah,
I still think that there's a little bit in there sometimes, but I think
bet
I might just be my mind playing tricks on
shining
me.
through.
I bet a green on black tattoo would go less yellow over time, though.
I don't know because when you put,
on black?
when you
Oof.
put white on black, it takes a bit of a yellow tinge.
Yeah.
Or would a baby blue, like a fusion blue mist on black, would that yellow into a green?
No, I think it would darken into like a royal blue.
A shitty blue.
Yeah.
When
It'd
I'm
be
in
like a
royal
really
blue, it'd be
thin-
it'd be
Oh
a
my
crusty
goodness.
blue.
It'd be like a really thin looking blue.
There's a
But dark.
guy who messaged me a couple months ago, and he's like, I just got to ask you, because my tattoo artist is convinced of this. He won't let it go. He says the only way you get a black line over that is you tattooed the skin with a coat of blue first. Like you did a coat of royal blue. I'm like, I didn't use royal blue. He's like,
Why
no,
in the
no.
world?
He's fucking sure you've used royal blue and you're just not being honest. I'm like, hey,
Why?
I'm not lying. I didn't do any blue. There's no blue work here. I don't know. This guy was just had it in his head that you can't tattoo black over black, and so the only way you could do it is if you lighten it with a royal blue first.
If you're gonna lighten it, you lighten it with white.
I know.
Yeah, but
I'm
no,
like-
but you're not gonna. You have to darken the area. You can't lighten it and expect that the black on top of the white's going to be your darker black.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
well, like,
So
what do
yes, you've got to start with a dark color like a
but I
royal
just love the
blue.
matter
Okay,
of
hang on. Let me throw
factness
this.
of it,
Let me
too.
throw this out there as a little wild idea, because that is a thing that guys are doing for cover-ups, right? Like they'll take a black tattoo, they'll entirely destroy it with white, and it comes out to like this kind of
Yeah, we
horrible
talked
looking
about it.
light
Yeah.
gray.
Yeah.
and then tattoo over top of
Rick
it as though
wasn't
it's not
fond
there.
of that idea.
Well, he made an excellent point, which is white is the most traumatic thing you could be putting
Well,
on
he
a
had a
tattoo.
bitch of a time
Exactly.
covering that Frankenstein.
And white is super hard to cover.
because it was
So-
like there was like cement in the scarring from
Yeah.
the white.
I think you'd be better off with mixing yellow or flesh tone anyway. Why are we using white here? White and black aren't going to mix to make a more flesh tone color.
No, but it'll make it light gray. Light
Yeah.
gray should be like in terms of a pigment to
Tone.
cover. Like, you know what I mean?
Value.
Like if I'm trying to cover that, that's a lot easier than trying to cover that.
But in reference to a hue, why wouldn't you be covering that with a light flesh tone?
Because it's
Would
not
you-
going to be a flesh tone.
No.
That'll just make it a dark brown,
Yeah.
right? Or at least it's somewhere in there.
I could definitely see brown. Like I could see a brown coming out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sure. Because watching the way that white on black shading is
Yeah.
here, like because Rick didn't pack this moon. There's parts of it that are super white that he lined, but the
Even
parts-
mixing yellow would come out brown.
Yeah, the parts that he shaded
mixing
have
those-
like a browny yellow look to
But you're
them.
looking for, but brown's better than gray. Like as far as
Sure.
as far as the
Yeah.
hue, you've achieved a better hue, same value, right?
Man, it's a wild world out there in terms of what you could do with this. Because obviously we've seen color tattoos over black,
Yep.
and for some reason it works. It
Myths has
just
been
works to
disproven.
a weird kind of medium. You know what I mean? Like it's like it starts off real crazy and then dulls out to this like okay.
That's
And then
the
now
one
we've
thing.
seen gray like done
Color
real
looks. The color looks like it's there, and it's actually fairly vibrant to an extent, but it has a duller look than anything you wouldn't
can
have
we
done.
do a
Yeah.
color neotrad rose on you
Oh, we could do it for sure.
with white lines?
well. Oh, on your leg.
Yeah, we could definitely do it.
I want to do that.
I would be up for that.
Could even do like white outline with
Well-
that black contour line.
Yeah.
With neotrad colors.
Here's the
inside.
thing.
We would do like
I,
inverse shading off of it too.
I'm fairly certain that I'm going to leave my legs open.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to involve them in the torso project.
So ass cheek it is then.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Well,
First, got to black them out though.
yeah. My ass cheeks have like filigrees on them, already, like
Good
giant
times.
filigrees.
Good
So,
Fancy ass.
but yeah, I think I'm going to leave my legs open for weird experiments. Just because now I've been doing this, and it's just inspired me to think, what else? What other kind of crazy shit could we do?
Yeah.
Like, my brain is always thinking like,
And as long as everything's done well in the end, even if it's experimental and not all a success, it's still going to look.
well, you just don't place it like you're an asshole. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? Like, you don't do it to make it look bad. It can be just like it can be a leg sleeve eventually if you do it right.
All right, let's put this on you and make it look stupid.
Well, some people do shit like
upside
that,
down,
right?
Backwards.
Yeah.
It's just well,
Yeah,
we're
actually-
just fucking around anyway. There's
Yeah,
no need for it to
exactly. Who
look
cares?
good.
An upside down leg sleeve would be sick.
Upside down leg sleeve.
Yeah.
Just so you see it.
Well, yeah. I just hope someone gets that someday. I want
Yeah.
to do one of those.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is all for me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to talk them out of it.
Yeah. I know, right?
No, I'm here to talk you into
I'm here to
it.
talk you
I don't
into it
care if
upside
you
down
look
leg
like an
sleeve.
asshole.
Dude, it'd be weird to do an entire like bodysuit of only areas that you can see. So it's just like stop at the calves and the back of your thighs, stop
just-
at the outer arms, like
you
you're
just
not
literally
going to
have
watch.
your artist scan.
Yeah,
No
where
need
you
for
can
back
see-
pieces.
Yeah, no need for back pieces.
And
no
he
need
dr-
for any of this.
Your
Yeah.
artist
Any of this is
draws a
done.
line
Yeah.
where you can see.
Can you see it? Okay, no, we'll stop there.
Yeah, no, that's. I've thought about that. The amount of time I've
That would
spent
be cool.
working on things that I
Your-
never interact with.
Your chest piece starts
Just
right,
where you can see. Like, I got about there.
goes right to here.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
Be
like
great.
the amount of time that's gone into tattoos that I have no interaction with and never
Yeah.
will is insane.
Oh goodness, yeah.
It's like
I have this thing. Kevin's got about 12, 15 hours
Yep.
in this thing on the back of my leg.
He will
and
never
I
see it.
never even think about it.
He will never see it in
I
his
can
life.
look at it in a mirror, sort of.
yeah, no,
It's-
these guys. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, because Rick didn't want to cover them, and so I was like, well, you know what? They don't even exist as if I don't show them.
Yep.
Like no one will ever see them unless I want them to.
Mm-hmm.
So people will just assume they're blacked out anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Like it's if I don't show them off, people assume everything is blacked out. So
So
I've
whatever.
already blacked them out.
Yeah.
As far as the world's concerned.
Culturally, yes, we have. Everybody
So-
believes it.
Who am
It
I
wasn't
showing
hard for me to
my
make that
lower
concession.
legs to.
I mean, maybe if you're at the beach, sporting a speedo.
Ooh,
Yeah, except if you have a full black bodysuit, you're
You're
not at the beach. You're running from the beach.
Yeah, you're really never gonna be
Yeah.
there.
No, because it's gonna be fucking inferno.
Yeah.
Like I am terrified of that scenario.
Yeah, that's like a nightmare for you. I'm
Not
sure
made
you've
for the
dreamed
desert.
about that, where you're just like, it's so hot.
Well, it's like a vampire running from the sun.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna light on fire soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. Sarah and I were in Calgary a couple of years ago, and we ended up having to walk pretty far in the hot sun. And I wore a hood up the whole time and kept my hands in my pockets. Like I was completely covered, and I could feel the sun coming through my hoodie onto my the back of my neck. Even with the coverage, like I could still feel the sun eating at the back of my neck.
So you're not gonna come live in this desert city then?
I don't think so.
Come on, man.
I don't know if
Devil
I would
City.
do well in a desert city.
Speaking of damaging tattoos, I managed to cut this tattoo through 2 different eyes.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's
How'd you
always
do
a
that?
sad day.
Just cut on a piece of wood.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, it's real surface though.
Up
Oh,
here
it's
it
not-
is. In
it's
here,
not,
it's a bit angry.
It's not gonna ruin it.
No,
which
it
is
sure
nice.
won't ruin it.
It's
Yeah.
amazing the amount of damage I've done to my hands, and
Yeah.
they're not getting much worse. Like
To
from
be
the,
fair, you've done it like 5 times.
yeah, well, yeah, I've done enough work on them, but like they just seem to stay once they're there.
That skin has learned now.
yeah, if you don't stay,
If you don't stay,
I will
this-
I will
punish
do
you.
this again.
This is going to
So,
happen again.
How
Your
about you
skin's
just
like we
commit
give
to
up.
it?
We've been burnt and cut and beaten and tattooed repeatedly. Go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But then you have like little wear and tear that shows up for reasons you don't even understand. Like all of a sudden there'll be a spot on your arm that's lightened a little. It's like, what the fuck? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And why? Like it just shows up all of a sudden. It's the most irritating thing. And
Do
that's
they go
one
away?
right here.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly where you're pointing at. They just lighten a little bit.
That's so weird.
All right.
Well, I mean, that would be probably like when they've finally gone through their full settling.
But
Well, you also see the last person to pass on it, kind of like work their area, work their area, work their area, and I think they just use this. You kind of work around a spot sometimes, and it's easy to go back and you brush it in instead of working it the same as you're working the normal blackout. So all of a sudden you use a different technique in this one area.
Yeah.
And
And
I
then
think
all
that's
of a
what I'm
sudden you see
seeing.
the
Yeah,
inconsistency
just in that
there.
one area. Oh, this one got brushed in because it looked like it was too light. But just kidding, it never got the original like
yeah,
shovel
it's
method at
more
all.
complicated than people want to think. But
Yeah, yeah. I've been
I
thinking
will
a lot lately.
be-
I've been thinking about these things quite a bit.
I will be very, very happy. I think I want to get this out of the way first because I think the sleeves are going to be like graduation presents.
Well, it'll be a vacation for you.
Well, not even just the lighter work and the easier pain, but like when I start seeing lines all the time, all over the place, it's going to be like, I did it. You know what I mean? It's going to be
Look at
another one of
me go.
those moments.
Look at me go.
Because right now, if I'm wearing a shirt, it's like, here I am talking about black on black, white on black, silver, red, all this shit. And it's like,
And you feel
what the fuck are
plain.
you talking about? You don't have any of that. You don't have anything, Remy.
You're just
You
lying.
have a regret suit. You covered shit with black, and here you are talking about
You
possibilities.
dipped your body in regret, and then now,
Yeah.
now you're saying all
You
this
took a
dreams
bath
about
in
new
oil.
tattoos.
The fuck are you talking about? Are you crazy? You don't have anything like that.
You
Wash
spent
this off every evening.
2 years under a 27 mag, and now
Yeah,
you're just plain.
exactly.
What is this crap?
And here you are preaching about possibilities.
Yeah.
Like you're some fucking prophet or something. Like that's what I always think on this podcast because you can't see any of it.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's camera's a little far away. You can't really see any of the little subtleties, right?
Yeah.
But like once I have full sleeves done the same way, you'll be able to see that shit no matter what I'm wearing. And I feel like I have to earn that in my own mind. Like it's like I have to go through this horribleness. And then you get to this, and it's going to be like fucking joyriding.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be easier for Rick. It's going to be easier for me. And I think it's going to go quicker, too, because we're already going to know what we're doing.
Well, it's just so much less surface area too.
Well, that, too, but it's also the growing pains of, like,
Yeah,
oh,
what
well, I
works
tried
well.
it this way this time. I tried to, like he said this morning, I tried to dot that in, see how it would look instead of just shading it.
Yeah.
Because shading doesn't work as well, right? But, like, we've tried both now. So by the time we get to these arms, it'll be like, oh, well, we've done every possible way to do
You're
this.
going to get out that 5-liner from that brand that has the right size of 5 to do the dot work, and you're just going to boop, 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 and
well,
dot
he's
it
never
in,
done
or-
anything like this before.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
Who has?
You'll just
No
you'll
one.
just know what method is best and just start there, and away you go.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's lining up my armpits last week. That was the first for me that I've had both armpits done in one day. Mm-hmm. But that was his first armpits ever.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
I just
how
assumed
many
Rick's
armpits have
tattooed
you done?
everything and everyone and every concept. Like, I just...
Yeah, I
assumed
said to him, I'm like, how many armpits have you done? First one, man. What?
Yeah.
Couldn't you lie to me? How do you not? How have you never done this? Lee was doing mine like he was fucking having a nap.
Yeah.
This is fun. We're having a blast, buddy. You want a drink? You need another coffee? Like, he's in my armpit just fucking grinding away as many times as he could. Whenever he got a shot, he was like, want to do your armpit again? Like, he did the moon, he did the goat's eye, he blacked both of them out several times. Then, because we had red and black around a moon in this armpit, and then we changed all the red to black before we blacked out the moon. Mm-hmm. So we were in my armpits like probably like once or twice a month after the first time we did them.
Gross.
He couldn't wait to get back at them.
What?
Oh my goodness.
I mean...
He would have video every time. Too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, he
you
fucking
have to.
loved it.
Because it's different.
It is, but like I guess some people get to do that stuff more than others. I don't know, because it wasn't his first time then either.
Well, I mean, the style too lends to certain things, right? So like, I don't know, Rick's style doesn't necessarily lend to like, okay, let's put this in your armpit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, his styling is very much like kind of showpieces.
Yeah,
and like
who's getting the multiple piece color real?
Yeah.
Sorry, multiple sitting color realism in their armpit.
Yeah, because like the armpit's a weird disconnect between things too, right? Like, so it's not usually like you're doing your torso into your arm. It's usually the place that people just leave out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, your arm's down. Who cares?
Your bicep piece ended here. Your chest piece ended here. Your rib piece ended here.
Well,
we're good now.
Well, I even thought like my sleeve ends pretty low, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like the eyeball and all that stuff. It's like I feel like I could have gone up into the armpit a little bit just with some shading.
I'm telling you,
sure
if you
happen.
can do your inner bicep, you can do your armpit.
Well, that's the thing. I've had what I understand to be way worse feelings right around it.
I'll
so it's
tell
like,
you for
I don't know
sure.
why we would have stopped there.
As far as I'm concerned, the inner bicep is a more painful session than the armpit.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's just the tissue is worse. It's softer.
Yeah, well, and it's that
Stretchier.
that like kind of love handly material almost, where it's just like
it's
kind
not
of,
good. I'd say inner biceps probably the worst part of the arm, but I don't mind any part of the arm much.
I hate the wrist.
I guess. I mean, it's got a
Just
bite
hate
to
it.
it, but it's
It's
just
just
such
like-
a small area too, so you're not fucking with it too long.
No,
you
I
shouldn't
guess it's
be
quick.
anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that one session I had where
Yeah.
4.5 hours on my wrist. Get in that skin.
We'll get it
in that
eventually.
skin.
We'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we'll just keep fucking hamburgering this, and
Yep.
eventually it'll turn into a giant cuff.
Yeah.
Then nothing will heal right. And then I'll
Forever.
blame you when your aftercare didn't
Yeah,
work.
yeah. This is all your fault.
You may as well had a fucking drill in there.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like at the end.
In Cambodia, I was using machines that were not powerful enough for things like wrists.
Mm-hmm.
So me trying to work a line into a wrist was such a process.
I don't doubt that.
Especially there were times I'd be doing like color, like I'd be doing a yellow line on a darker skinned person. You're like, oh my, this is just taking all the effort.
Yeah.
Goodness.
This is 100% of what I can do right now.
Yeah, yeah. This is way outside of the range of
Maximum
what I've got here.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
you're
sounds
so
like,
new at the time. You're just like, hey, well, needles and skin, it's gonna go. Here we go.
Yeah, but I think that kind of a background and maybe some of your own inner workings has made you a student of the game.
Maybe.
You seem to really take to trying new things.
Yeah.
Like you were when I met you when we first did our first podcast. Even I think we had a great conversation, but you were like, I don't understand the Blackout.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And now you're doing Blackout, right? And
Like,
but
let's
that's not a
Blackout.
bad thing. That's like, look at this human being that's learning and growing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what people should do. We
Black
should-
things out or
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it could have been anything. It could
Yeah.
have been watercolor,
Yeah.
right? Like you change the subject matter. But like it's good when you see people, expanding their horizons.
Yeah.
Some things are just cool, you know?
Yeah. But like you don't see people do that very often. It's just
Well, I mean, you will probably see it more as we get more into the realm of things to increase our neuroplasticity, I think that will help people not see limitation the same way. Because a lot of times, like what we were talking about earlier in terms of the stupid Instagram thing, it's like, you know, you look at this barrier to entry, this like inability to understand. And if all of a sudden you were using more substances that would allow you to be more open to new things like that, it might keep you feeling younger minded for longer, in which case you'll see more people experiment and change and grow.
I think my big problem with it is the reason why I'm feeling burnt out on it so much is like it's not even the Instagram, it's how much I'm actually working. And then it makes me feel like this is worthless.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because it's like,
imbalance of time.
oh, well, I'm making fucking money at this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, what am I doing? What am I doing here? The tattoo thing is divorced from that because I would be doing this in a
Start selling
fucking cave.
fit tea, man.
Like, if I lost my Instagram account, I would still want to be doing this experimenting and shit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, people are always, oh, you just do it for attention. No, I would be doing this whether I had Instagram or not.
Yep.
Because even when I had the first bodysuit I was working on, it was like a full coverage project. I don't want any negative space. I would always say that to anyone tattooing me. Don't stop there. Keep it going. I want full coverage. They'd be like, well, it doesn't make sense to do this. I'm like, well, then just put some fucking red shading in there or something. Just put something there to connect everything.
The worst color to just shade in for
I
no
don't
reason.
want any
Just
space.
put some red in there.
Well, it was thematic for what was going on, right?
Yeah.
So we would have like the roses and shit, and then there was like a darker red, like connected. Like it was all kinds of weird, but like I didn't want any negative space. I still don't want any negative space, and now the blackout is the negative space. So it's like when I see these patches of black on my chest here, I'm like, we're gonna have to do some shading in there, pop them out. We're gonna do some like white shading or something in behind the tentacles.
Oh my God, you and I are so different for getting tattoos.
Well, I told Rick when we started, I was like, let's take our time. Let's do like a year and a half on this. And I hope that he's as cool with that as I.
Yeah, of course he
You
is.
know what I mean? Because I was serious. I wasn't fucking around. I didn't want to get to the end zone anytime soon. Because I want to like do everything possible with this.
You are a marathon of tattoos.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I'm there. I'm like sad I'm not getting tattooed today. You know what I mean? Like I could get tattooed every day and probably be okay with it.
I mean, eventually your body's going to be like, nope. That's too much, man.
Well, my wallet will.
Yeah, fair.
yeah.
Very fair.
Remy, you can't. Well, no, I can deal with the pain. It's fine. No, you don't have the money to pay.
Your bank account says 0 now.
Yeah, you have nothing left. You're in the overdraft.
Man, you know what you
So,
should do, though, is you should create a Patreon just for your tattoo sessions.
That would be great. Just having people pay me to get tattooed.
By
Yeah.
Remy, 10 minutes of tattoo time.
Yeah.
But then I
Exactly,
think
just
they
in
would
minute
they
increments.
would get
Yeah.
like they would have an investment in it and feel like they could put some say in there. Well,
Yeah.
I think this area should be done like this.
And they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, and it will have no bearing.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
I think for every $20 they give you, you get 6 minutes of tattoo time.
Every 2 minutes. Jesus Christ. That's pretty chintzy. Yeah,
Hey, still.
fair enough.
Yeah,
But
send me $20. Get that by
just looking at a guy just dead in the eye, I think you should do it this way. You should do, oh yeah, sure, I'll take that into consideration. I'm not doing anything
At
like
the same
that.
time, like, man, it would be interesting to hear people's ideas. You know what I mean? Like,
not
just
for very long, it wouldn't be. No.
no, I think it would. Because
No,
like, you'd have
because
to
their
sift
ideas
through
are
it. It
always
would be a bunch
stupid.
of dumb.
Heard lots
Their
of people's
ideas are always fucking stupid.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You'd have to sift through a lot of dumb.
But it's not even that. It's like it's the same ones.
Oh,
You should tattoo your eyes. When you tattoo your eyes, hey Remy, have you considered tattooing your eyes? Why haven't you tattooed your eyes yet?
please don't tattoo your eyes.
Please, when are you going to tattoo your palm? I'm like, I have a palm tattoo. No, when are you going to black it out? Did you know Hood did a blackout? He did another blackout. I've had that sent to me like fucking 7,000 times.
Yeah.
Stop sending me blackout palm pictures. I've seen them. I know it's possible. I don't care.
Have you ever been on Instagram and saw this guy that does?
You wouldn't believe when he did that. I seen it in my feed because it was fucking crushing,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Because everything he does crushes to
Yeah, it's
begin
true.
with. And the palm blackout, dotted in, because he was told repeatedly, dot it in next time.
Yeah.
First thing in my feed, and all I went was, oh, for fuck's sake, not this again. Because now this is going to be
again?
every day, everything I post. When are you dotting your palms, Remy? Never. Fuck off. Is that clear enough? One day,
reasonably clear.
okay? One day. I've said it a million times.
And not for you.
I don't expect anyone to read it or remember it if they did, but like, man, oh man. You would think that a guy with hundreds of hours of blackout would, know that you can black out your palm. Like, the idea that they're telling me something I've never heard before or seen before. I'm on the fucking frontier of this. I've seen it a few times. I've even seen the weirdos with perfectly black palms that never go out. Like, I know a piercer who has been doing his own palm for 7 years.
Yeah.
Just bit by bit.
That's the way to do it, man.
He just
Such a high-maintenance
well, he's not
hobby.
doing the post that
Some
Hood
people
is.
play chess.
He's not doing
I
the
recommend it.
he's not doing the big close up video of his palm and trying to trend. He's just doing
he's
it
just
in his
doing it for
fucking
himself.
spare time to see what he can do. He's doing
When
like
he's at a cancellation, he's just like,
yeah, he just does a little bit now and then. His palm is blacker than any part of my body, I think. But he's been working on it for 7 years. He's only got one too. He didn't do the other one yet. I don't know if he ever will.
Hard to go through your left hand.
I
his
talked to the
only tattoo.
weirdos who inject they inject their tattoo like their nails under their tattoos, like,
Oh,
or under their nails rather.
I'm good.
I know a guy who's
Good on
removed
that.
his toenails to tattoo his.
I'm good on that too.
Like, I know all kinds of things are possible.
but why? Go play chess.
That's literal torture.
It's not even like, I don't even think, oh well, why would you do that? It's just, well, that's cool that that's possible,
It is.
right? Like, it's
Is
cool to
it?
know it's possible.
We all know
is.
that's possible. Just you shouldn't do it.
The problem is the minute you get a high profile guy like Hood do something like that,
Yeah.
then it's like,
Then it
when are
happened.
you doing that?
Yeah.
I don't know. When are you doing it?
Yeah.
You could fucking do it too.
No, they can't.
So you want to do the backs of your hands again with a 9-liner dot work?
What, the tops or the palms?
The knuckles.
Oh, the knuckles. Yeah, eventually. I think so.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I
That'd
think
work.
so. I think that's probably on a shorter to-do list than the palm blackout, because I think
Really?
I think that my fingers won't take much more work.
Fair.
Like,
Fair.
they're pretty good for blackout fingers. Like, blackout fingers are fucking terrible.
Yeah. First of
So
all.
when you've seen a lot of them healed, and you know what you're looking at, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Because like some people lose everything.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, there's nothing left.
The knuckle, man, it's just a bad spot.
I might have some blackout fingers coming up. Should
You will have
I
some blackout fingers coming up.
should I dot work them?
Probably.
You probably should. And whoever's getting it done should be told to take a week off.
Yeah, she already knows.
Yeah, she already knows. She's a piercer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was in here the other day?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's taking time
make
off.
sure you take the time off, because a lot of people. I had a guy who was like, "Oh, I'm planning on 2 days off, get my fingers done, and then maybe when I go back to work, they'll let me take it easy." I'm like, "No, you won't be going back to work. You will be in bed. You'll be laying, and your hand will be up like this in a claw-like position." He's like, "Oh, well, but I'm like, okay, don't listen to me. I've only done this 5 times.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, what do you think? My artist is just a particular savage, and that's why my fingers were like that? I think that people think, oh, my guy's good. He won't do that. It's like, no. That will happen
That's
no
the
matter who
hand.
your guy is.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You block out your fingers. This is your hand for a week.
All right.
People are lining up.